Welcome to the Soul Repairer, where broken hearts find lessons and painful endings reveal hidden beginnings. Before we begin, if you've ever loved someone so deeply that losing them changed you forever, like this video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. What's the hardest goodbye you've ever experienced? Tonight's story is about a man named Daniel and a woman named Sophia. A love story that began with hope, ended with betrayal, and returned years later with regret. Daniel met Sophia during his first week at university. It was raining that afternoon. The campus cafeteria was crowded, and there weren't enough seats. Daniel walked around carrying his tray, looking for somewhere to sit. Then he heard a voice. "There's an empty seat here." He looked up. A young woman with warm brown eyes smiled at him. That woman was Sophia. Daniel sat down. They talked for almost an hour. At first, it was just casual conversation. "Where are you from? What are you studying? What kind of music do you like?" Simple questions, simple answers. Neither of them knew it then, but that little conversation would change their lives. Over the next few weeks, they kept running into each other. In the library, in class, on campus walkways. It started to feel less like coincidence. Eventually, they became friends, then best friends. And before either of them realized it, they were falling in love. They weren't rich. They didn't have perfect lives. Daniel came from a struggling family. Sometimes he skipped meals to save money. Sometimes he pretended everything was fine when it wasn't. Sophia noticed. One evening, she found him sitting alone outside the library. He looked defeated. "Are you okay?" she asked. Daniel smiled. "I'm fine." Sophia sat beside him. "No, you're not." For a few seconds, Daniel said nothing. Then he finally spoke. "I'm tired, Sophia." "Tired of what?" "Trying so hard and still feeling like I'm getting nowhere." Sophia looked at him. Then she said something Daniel would never forget. "One bad season doesn't mean your life is bad. You're going to make it someday, Daniel. I believe in you." Nobody had ever said those words to him before. "I believe in you." 3 simple words. But sometimes, 3 simple words can save someone. That night, Daniel cried. Not in front of Sophia, not where anyone could see. He cried alone in his room, because for the first time in a very long time, he didn't feel invisible. Months passed. Their friendship turned into love. It wasn't a perfect love. It wasn't expensive, but it was real. They bought each other cheap gifts, shared one plate of food, walked home together, sat under trees talking about the future. Sometimes they had no money, but somehow they were happy. Sophia became Daniel's biggest supporter. When he failed an important exam, he wanted to quit school. He ignored everyone, stopped answering calls, stayed in his room. Then one night, there was a knock at his door. It was Sophia. She held a small paper bag. Inside were 2 meat pies and a soft drink. She smiled. "I know you're upset, so I brought dinner." Daniel looked at her. "Why are you doing this?" She looked confused. "Because I love you." He looked away. "I failed." "I know. I'm a disappointment." "No, you're not. I keep messing things up." Sophia gently held his hand. "You failed an exam, Daniel. You didn't fail at life." Then she smiled. "And if you give up now, who am I supposed to brag about when you become successful?" Daniel laughed. For the first time in days, she stayed with him until almost midnight. They talked. They prayed. They ate cold meat pies. And before leaving, Sophia said, "Promise me something." "What?" "Never quit on yourself." Daniel nodded. "I promise." That night, he slept peacefully, because love isn't always flowers and dates. Sometimes, love is someone sitting beside you in your darkest moment and refusing to leave. For 4 years, they built memories, late-night phone calls, long walks, birthdays, movie nights, inside jokes nobody else understood. They talked about marriage, children, building a home together. They made promises, the kind of promises young people make when they truly believe forever exists. Sophia once asked him, "If we ever have problems, promise me we'll talk about them." Daniel smiled. "I promise." She smiled. "Promise me we'll never become strangers." "I promise." Then she wrapped her arms around him. Neither of them knew. Some promises are easier to make than they are to keep. After graduation, life changed. Daniel got his dream job. It was everything he had prayed for. A good salary, a nice office, a better life. Sophia was happier than anyone. She celebrated like the success belonged to both of them. Because in her heart, it did. But success has a strange way of changing people. At work, Daniel met Isabella. She was beautiful, confident, sophisticated. She dressed elegantly, drove an expensive car, talked about investments and luxury vacations. She seemed to belong to a world Daniel had never known. At first, he admired her. Then, he enjoyed her attention. Then, he started comparing. Sophia suddenly seemed simple, ordinary, less exciting. Without realizing it, Daniel began changing. He replied slower, called less, canceled plans. When Sophia talked, he wasn't really listening. One evening, they were having dinner. Sophia was talking excitedly about a bakery she wanted to start someday. Daniel looked at his phone. "Are you listening?" she asked. "Yeah." "What did I just say?" Silence. She smiled sadly. "You weren't listening." He sighed. "I'm tired." "No, you're somewhere else." Daniel looked irritated. "Can we not do this tonight?" Sophia nodded, but her smile disappeared, because sometimes you can feel someone leaving you long before they actually leave. Weeks passed. She kept trying. She planned dates, sent encouraging messages, bought him little gifts, tried to reconnect, but it felt like she was holding a relationship together by herself. Then one evening, she asked, "Daniel, are we okay?" "I'm just busy." "No, that's not it." He sighed. "Sophia, why do you make everything difficult?" The words hit her like a slap, because she wasn't trying to be difficult. She was trying not to lose him. Then came the night everything ended. They sat in her car. Silence filled the space. Finally, Daniel spoke. "I think we've grown apart." Sophia blinked. "What?" "I don't think this relationship is working anymore." She stared at him. For 4 years. And this was how it would end. No warning, no conversation, no fight worth remembering. Just, "I think we've grown apart." Her eyes filled with tears. She couldn't breathe. She didn't scream, didn't beg, didn't argue. She only asked one question. "Did I do something wrong?" Daniel looked away. No. Somehow, that answer hurt even more. Because if she did something wrong, maybe she could fix it. But if she did nothing wrong, why was she being left? She looked at him for several seconds, then quietly asked, "Is there someone else?" Silence. That silence told her everything. Her heart broke, and for the first time, she cried in front of him. Not loudly, not dramatically, just tears. The kind that come from deep disappointment. The kind that leave scars. Sophia cried for months. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't listen to certain songs. Everything reminded her of Daniel. The cafe where they met, the bench where they talked for hours, the messages, the promises. Even the meat pies made her cry. Because grief isn't just losing a person. It's losing the future you imagined with them. Meanwhile, Daniel moved on with Isabella. Life seemed exciting. New restaurants, fancy parties, luxury trips. Everything looked perfect. Until it wasn't. The conversations became shallow. Arguments became frequent. The excitement slowly disappeared. Then one day, Isabella left. Just like that. No fight, no big explanation. She simply moved on. For the first time in years, Daniel was completely alone, and silence became his roommate. Then something strange happened. He started remembering Sophia, her laughter, her kindness, the way she looked at him like he mattered, the way she celebrated his smallest victories, the way she believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. Then he remembered something else. The night she brought him meat pies because he was sad. And suddenly, he cried because he realized something painful. He had mistaken peace for boredom. He had mistaken loyalty for something ordinary. He had traded genuine love for temporary excitement. And now, he wanted her back. He searched for her online. Then he froze. There she was, Sophia, wearing a white dress, smiling, married. Not to him, to someone else. He clicked the photos. In one picture, she was laughing. In another, she was holding her husband's hand. In another, she looked genuinely happy. Daniel's hands started shaking, because for years, some part of him believed she'd always be there. But she wasn't. She had built a new life, without him. At that moment, Daniel understood something. People don't always leave because they stop loving you. Sometimes, they leave because you made them feel unloved. The woman who once cried herself to sleep because of him was now smiling because someone else chose her. And for the first time in his life, Daniel cried without holding back. Not because he lost Sophia, but because he finally understood what she had meant to him. And by then, it was too late. Some people are blessings, others are lessons, and sometimes, the person you take for granted becomes the memory you can never replace. This is the soul repairer, where broken hearts find lessons and painful endings reveal hidden beginnings. If this story touched you, like this video, subscribe, and comment one word below, regret, because your story might help someone heal tonight.